We are now live. What day is it? May 27th, 2016, Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. We have Gary with us, who's new to our group, first time. So, Gary, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So, folks, I joined this group after talking to Yvette yesterday, and she told me about it, and I searched for it, but I could not find. Then she sent me the link, and I said, definitely, I want to join. Actually, I am a chartered accountant from India, and did accounting in India for about 5-6 years. Came to here, US in the '90s, and passed the CPA exam and worked for a CPA firm for a couple of years. But they gave me only tax work, and I would never get my licensing certification. So living in the Silicon Valley, there was a lot of opportunity in the software world. So I moved into software, and 19 years I did in software. But all this while I had my own QuickBooks consulting from my home, which for small businesses, my family, friends, retail, gas station, whoever had, I did their books and helped them set up QuickBooks and so on. And then in 2014, my wife passed away, and I have 2 teenage kids. So I was at a big dilemma what to do. And I quit my job and focused on starting my accounting practice. But the things were not working out. In the meantime, I heard about Xero, the cloud accounting company, and I become their partner and started using Xero. And then the next day, I looked at their website, and there were some good job openings, very matching to my skills. So I joined Xero for 1.5 years. I worked there as partner enablement manager, working with accountants and bookkeepers, and then helping them enable their practice on Xero, switching from QuickBooks. So now I become expert in both QuickBooks and Xero. And in end of April, there was a transition and opportunity to leave Xero with a hefty severance pay, and I said, okay, I took it, and then I am back, and now I'm started my own. Now full-fledgedly, I want to do everything on cloud using QuickBooks Online and Xero.
Nice.
So when is Xero going to improve their reports?
So my focus primarily is in the retail space, trucking companies, and IT people. So these are the 3 verticals I'm currently focusing, but over time, so I came with a dilemma of growing my practice, which will take me year and a half, and then I have to run the house. My burn rate is about 8 to 9K living in the Silicon Valley per month. So I'm going to buy a practice, and I'm already talking to some of the small EA people, EA practice, accounting practice. I'm going to buy that and consolidate that, and then focus on. And in the meantime, I'm also working on getting my EA certification.
Nice. Congratulations.
Wow.
Thank you.
Welcome. Wow. Well, how did you 2 meet?
Yvette was a partner, and last year, in 2015, March, I helped her with Clio and Xero integration. I'm an IT integration expert also, so any app integration, any help anybody needing, I'm more than happy to help.
Nice. I think Dennis is the other Xero person here beside Yvette.
I use it for my practice. I wouldn't call myself an expert. I'm primarily tax, and I do some QuickBooks. I've kind of phased out of QuickBooks. I have clients that use QBO, and I use what's that? Syncing.
ITO?
No, it's the one that the desktop. I'm having a senior moment. The
QBox.
QBox, yeah, right. So most of I only really do QuickBooks now for my tax clients, and I use QBox to sync the desktops and QBO for the other ones. And I've got one potential client wants to go on to Xero, so I'm looking at that too. I just find Xero is a lot more stable than QBO, in my opinion.
I have an opinion about Xero and the QuickBooks Online. 3 years ago, QBO was they were building, and Xero came from outside, from New Zealand, and they have a very sleek website, and user interface is very good. Simplicity is their formula. And then over the years, I've been noticing QBO has been amping up, and they are I would say, at par, but Xero has simplicity.
Right, I would agree. So when you get a potential client, why would you choose Xero or QBO one over the other? What would you recommend for your new client?
Is it for me or for Dennis?
For you, Gary.
Okay.
You're the expert in both Xero and QuickBooks.
So why I would put Xero, there's two reasons. First is I joined as a Xero partner. So I am a silver partner right now. Silver partner meaning 25 or more customer with Xero. And then as I grow my practice, if I become a gold partner, they will give me a hefty discount. And nowadays it is no more hourly, it's all value pricing.
Right.
So you bake in the cost of the software into your value pricing, and this is how you make money. And also when you are a gold partner, they will basically take care of you in a lot of ways, giving you marketing fund and a lot more other things. And QuickBooks also does. QB Advisor gives you 35% discount. So while at Xero, I was totally moving all my clients on Xero, but now I'm outside of Xero, so I can do QBO also. Somebody wants to use QBO, I'll let them use.
The thing that strikes me about QBO, even though they say differently, I think that rather than doing a total rebuild, from the ground up, I think they kind of worked around the old system because there seems to be kind of glitches where the systems don't integrate very well. And I've been with QuickBooks for about 10 years now, and it seems like I always have these problems with different logins. Like I use Intuit Tax Online, and I couldn't get it to integrate with the QBO that I had, so I just set up a new user to get it to work with ITO. And so now I've got problems if I have to have my client sign up with my new Intuit ID for if I want to have access to the QBO file where I can sync it to ITO, which they're changing the name on that, I guess.
Yes, and QBO only drawback is it was never built from the cloud, from the ground up.
Right.
So desktop, and now they are basically making it feel like desktop, but it's not fanning out, but they are getting closer and closer. Close and close to Xero, and Xero is also now changing it because in the next release they will have a practice management software along with Xero. They have an existing practice management software which is cloud based. They will integrate the two together and give one to the customers.
I use Workflow Max for my time billing.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're saying Workflow Max is going to be included with the Xero subscription?
Really?
They've rebranded it as it's not called Workflow Max when it's practice management or something.
Practice advisor. There's some practice advisor, something like that they call it.
Yeah.
And
but it's still Workflow Max.
Yeah, pretty good. And then also there is a new player in this field called Carbon.
Oh yes.
We've had them on. Or no, it was Seth had it on.
How is it?
Yeah, Ian.
KARBO and Carbon. And the Carbon is headed by one of the Xero's vice president who quit, and he's a good friend of mine, Ian.
Yeah, we know him.
So I'm also in touch with him, and maybe once things settle down, I may move myself to Carbon, because Carbon has a lot more. They're adding more and more features, and they're pretty slick.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Brandon, I think you have some information. Do you have some updates on QuickBooks payments and the security and the chip?
I do. So for GoPayment, was specifically the answer. So QuickBooks is supporting the EMV update. The demand was so high for the EMV card readers for GoPayment that they got completely overwhelmed. So what they have done is Intuit is bearing the risk for anybody that's using GoPayment now until we can get the card readers out, the EMV compliant card readers out. There is a website. I'll post it in the chat section.
Okay.
But, you can order them for $30, and it's still up in the air whether or not Intuit is going to tip a $30 card reader to each GoPayment account holder right now. I would think that they would right now. I mean, they're updating. they're updating people's IPP 350, which is the POS version of the reader. So it retails at $350, and they're shipping out brand new ones to the POS customers. You would think a $30 card reader, they would go ahead and do that, but I can't tell you that they're going to do that for sure. They are $30 to order from Intuit right now if you need multiples, but typically they supply one to all of their customers. So
for the POS system, the card reader is the big system where you actually put the card into it. How do they do it on your phone? Like they had those little, I don't know what you would call them, that you plug into your phone.
Right. It's just a mobile card reader. It's going to be the same type of deal, except it will detect that it's got a chip. I don't know how it works yet. But yeah, it's going to be the same type of deal that just plugs into the headphone jack. But it will detect that there is a chip on it.
Okay.
And like I said, until we get those out and circulated, Intuit's covering all of their customers as far as the EMV compliance. So if there was some fraud going on that came back to the EMV, then Intuit is going to bear the burden or bear the risk for all of their customers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's nice to know. And there are clients that do ask. So that's the answer then.
That is the answer. And to top it off, we are, I don't know if you've dealt much with Square, but, my biggest selling point as far as GoPayment goes, and I'm not in it for sales. I'm in it to help my customers.
Right.
But, if you got a problem, you can call me. With Square, I've dealt with Square before, quite a while back, but trying to reach somebody for customer service is next to impossible. And our prices are cheaper. So we've got a few things going there.
Got it. Is GoPayment very similar to Square? I've been using Square, and they sent me my EMV reader, I don't know, 2 months ago. But I'm not using it because I don't work with any clients that are ever going to question the charge.
Right.
It's for me to use the other one that just slides the card in my phone because, just because it is. I don't have anybody who buys from me that I don't know.
Yeah, Square and GoPayment are direct competitors. They work exactly the same way.
Got it.
The difference is GoPayment is Intuit's answer to Square.
Got it.
Now, GoPayment does integrate directly into QuickBooks Point of Sale or QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks QBO. So,
does it force you to do sales receipts or invoice payments on invoices or anything like that?
Nope. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Square doesn't. You just say how much
Square, I'm talking about interfacing. Like with Square, I can set up all my different categories, and then I make reports and.
Oh, okay.
I like Square
myself, but if the GoPayments is part of Intuit, I was curious how flexible it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Does it have to match item codes that are in?
Got it.
No, you don't have to. Now you can if you want to, but you don't have to.
Got it.
So you can synchronize your item list from QuickBooks into to GoPayment, but it's not a requirement.
Nice.
I used it for several years doing fireworks sales for our church. It worked like a champ. We didn't have a QuickBooks file to even use with it, but
okay, yeah, so, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, so you can use your items in QuickBooks, or you can totally leave QuickBooks out of the equation and just use it for just like a quick payment capture. So
can you still make little categories though?
I believe so. Don't quote me on that. We'd have to look at it again. So
another question for payments.
Hey, Brandon. So I know you were at Scaling New Heights.
I was.
I saw. And so tell us about it. I mean, I watched, some of the talks. One that really stood out with me was the one with, I think his name was Joe Wisnick. He's the photographer.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I
from
saw
The
that.
last talks, I loved his talk. Very nice man too. I actually sent him an email because I really liked the way he presented and what he had to say.
Right.
And he sent me an email back. Was very kind, very nice, and gracious. So tell us the highlights. What you think of it? It was quite a deal.
Joe always does a great job with scaling new heights. And he's done a really good job as far as changing the course materials up. At one point, I think this is 8 or 9 years that I've been there. I mean, I've only missed one. So I've been through just about every breakout session you could go through.
Wow.
But he has changed up the sessions some. So new material is always good. I like learning new things. Probably the biggest things that I came out with is I spend a lot of time in the exhibitor hall and trying to learn the new apps that are out there and meeting new people, especially first-time attendees, new bookkeepers, new business owners. But I came out, Mike
Merkowitz?
yeah, Profit First. He
Yeah.
wrote a new book. I got that. I'd already read that
Pumpkin
book.
one?
I got an
Yeah,
autograph.
it's Mike McAllowitz.
McAllowitz.
Yeah.
Is the new book the Pumpkin Patch?
No,
No,
that
that
was
was
first
one
one.
of the
Pumpkin
older
Plan.
First books.
Third.
I have that book, The Pumpkin
Is it
Plan.
good? I've got an Amazon card from a client.
Yeah, get that. It's a great
So-
book. You know who told me about the book was Don Brolin years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and
So what's
she-
this new book?
Great. Did you see how she threw herself up on the stage?
Don is so crazy.
Crawled up.
She's so
Hey.
crazy. Don.
You know she's a police officer on her off time, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
really? You can tell it. Yeah.
So,
Is that really true?
what's that?
Is that really true?
Yes.
No.
Yes, it is.
Really?
Yes.
She
Yes.
went up to the stage, and the stage was probably about 3 feet.
Well, yeah, she threw herself, but she's not really a
And
police
she kind
officer.
of threw herself up. She
Yeah.
swung her leg up, and then she got up on her hands and knees and stood up. She didn't go up the stairs.
Right. I saw that. That was hysterical. You never know what Matt's going to do. Matt from Team Sheets always puts on a good show.
Oh, I saved a
Yeah.
video of him. I couldn't listen to it. Was he karaoke or singing or something?
Yes, he was lip syncing. Yes. Him and Dawn and Addie Visor.
Yeah. I
Anybody
didn't
know-
like
who's
that.
who's the Daddy Visor anyway? Is that some actress?
Oh, yeah. Joe's had Addie Visor as kind of. I think she started. I want to say back at Disney, but the first time at Disney, or it may have been back in Tennessee. I don't remember. He's had her for several years now. But Chief,
a real advisor, right? She's not a real-
No. She's a made up character.
Yeah,
And
Adele?
I think
yeah, it's all an act.
It's for
she's
humor.
supposed to be like annoying, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
and she plays it well.
Yeah.
she does. It's really adorable.
Not
Anyway,
the kind of advisor I want to be.
Chief is exactly right, though. Mike McAllowitz, his new book is called Surge. It comes out next month.
Okay.
SURGE. Surge.
Yes.
You sounded like you said search.
You know what I like about these speakers? A lot of them, like all of us, I mean, they have their story, and
And
that's part of what moves
Mike
me.
has a pretty intense story. I mean,
Yeah,
where
he
he went
does.
from a millionaire to broke.
Exactly.
And,
A couple
and has since come back. I mean, it's pretty heartbreaking story, actually, but he's done very, very well with it. I appreciate his humility.
Yeah, profit first. Yeah, I've got that one.
Yes.
Yeah, Billy Ann Grigg, part of she's in and around the social media thing here. She's a Profit First professional, certified through their.
Actually,
And did you get a chance to sit in on Mark Wickersham's at all on his value pricing and his cloud pricing program?
Just a little bit. He did was it a power breakfast? And all my days ran together because I was there pretty much nonstop. I took 2 breaks, and that was it.
Did you get to sleep at all?
Not much.
In the airport, I saw those pictures.
I know.
You and your family in the airport on Facebook.
We were up at 3:30 this morning so we could get to the airport and go through customs on time. So,
Brendan, which conference did you go to?
Scaling New Heights.
Scaling
The
New Heights.
Bahamas. They were in the Bahamas.
In the Bahamas.
Yeah, I left Bahamas this morning and made it back to the office by this afternoon. So
I would be sleeping. I can't believe you're.
I know. I was thinking. I was like, hey, wait a minute. I just saw those.
You got to be a young guy.
Well, that's
I'm
like
just a
Michelle
pup.
Long. I didn't think Michelle was coming to Maui. And
I'm only 21.
How many kids?
Yeah, and how old is your oldest?
18.
Yeah. What would you do? Get married at 3?
Okay, maybe 41, but
Misha!
anyway. So yeah, Mark Wickersham put on a good show. I think he's going to have some excellent content. I watched his main stage presence, and I think he also did a power breakfast. But he had some good material. I've got a ton of notes that I'm going to hopefully get put on a blog or something soon. But
actually,
So
yesterday I was looking at.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Did you have a chance to go outside of Scaling New Heights to see the sites at all, like the
I
Bahamas?
saw him swimming
I did.
with the
twice.
sharks.
I got to leave one of my classes on Sunday because I won the Scaling New Heights, one of the contests. So I went walking with the sharks with Joe.
Oh,
Sunday.
I think I saw something like that.
He was in the tank.
I
Yeah.
was in the tank. Not to be confused with being tanked. So I did that, and then I cut out a little bit early on Monday, during the last show, and right after a thunderstorm, and I went swimming with the kids, and went down the leap of faith, the 5-story drop, and that was pretty cool. And
That
then
picture
yesterday,
that you showed, you've got the big slide, right? But
yeah.
you don't swim on either side, right? That looked like there was like big fish.
Oh, that was the shark tank. So I got in that tank earlier, but that's got a tube that runs through the shark tank.
Wow.
Oh, so you come down the slide and you go down underneath.
Yes.
But there's actually glass between where you are and the sharks.
Oh,
Yes, there's a
So they
tube.
can't eat you.
Yeah.
Good.
And they're pretty docile sharks. It's nerf
you
sharks.
probably feed them a lot.
The only warning they really gave us was don't stick your hands out because they're hand fed and they might think
You might not have it.
Maybe your 10-key hand.
So what do you think of the Bahamas, Brandon?
it was beautiful. But if I go back, I'll probably go someplace other than Atlantis. It was extremely, extremely expensive to eat there.
I loved what you did
If
with the hot
If
dogs.
you go on the mainland, it is much cheaper.
Yeah, we actually, my wife went Sunday. She went to the grocery store, paid $50 round trip for a taxi and went to the grocery store. But I talked to somebody on Sunday. They paid $50 for a salad.
Oh my gosh.
They've got another restaurant there inside Atlantis. It was like $63 a plate. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought Maui was bad, but
Those
that's
fancy
worse.
hotels. So
Yeah, but you were really, really playing MacGyver there when you cooked the hot dogs.
Hey, my wife is awesome.
So did she go buy a coffee maker?
No, we used the coffee maker in the
It
room.
was in the room?
That's even better.
Why does my coffee taste like hot dogs?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Sarah,
we put hot dogs in the pot. It worked.
you were in Hawaii with Expensify. Want to talk about it?
Who, me?
Yeah.
That was phenomenal.
Okay, I have a question before you go any further, Sarah.
Yeah.
Was that tattoo real? gotta ask you. That's not. I knew it.
I know. I posted it, and you guys like, "Is that real?" And I'm like, "Wow, I shouldn't have had that drink." Oh, it was fun. It was fun. And what's really cool is how, of course, Expensify is one of my favorite just companies. Not only is their product really cool, but their whole attitude, and it's young and it's reactive. It's changing and improving constantly. And then T-Sheets is my other favorite one.
Yes, they did that announcement at
and then when they announced that they're going to work together, and it was so funny because David saying, well, Expensify has a little timekeeping thing, but it sucks. T-Sheets is like, yeah, well, we have a little expense, part of our software, but and then for the two of them to get together, so now you can be in T-Sheets working on your time, have an expense, hit your Expensify button, and so now they're going to work together.
Yeah, whatever job that you're tied to in that in T-Sheets, Expensify will grab it and bring it. It's pretty slick. So
really, that's
so
cool.
it's so exciting to see, everybody grow and be successful, and it gets you pumped up because you just want to share.
So is everybody here T-Sheets advisors yet?
No,
I didn't take that. But
I was when it came out, and that was right when I got sick, and so I signed one client up for it, and then so now I need to start all over again.
Yeah, I'm basically starting from ground zero with them. We just implemented for our practice, but
Did you?
yeah, but there's people making $8,000 a month on commissions.
Are they doubling their commission till the end of the month or the end of the?
So let's see, I think
they're
it's
doubling their commission for like pro advisors for.
I don't know how long, but I know what you're talking about. I'll look it up.
Yeah. So I'm leaving for another trip on Wednesday, and that's my plan. Is I'm taking my laptop, and I'm gonna catch up on even my QuickBooks Pro Advisor. I might wait till I get back to do that, but
you don't want to take.
I want to learn. There's all this stuff I haven't had time to watch and read. I have so much stuff in Pocket and saved, and because I'll start something and I gotta go do client work, and and so I'm always being pulled. So if I'm doing client work, I wish I was doing that, and if I'm doing that, I feel guilty that I'm not doing client work.
Yep.
So and they say don't work on your vacation, but it's fun. Like I want to learn how to use I've had Camtasia for how long?
Me too.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Me too. I haven't even really used it.
So, and so I'm buying the Wi-Fi package on the ship. I said, I'm not going on any cruise unless there's Wi-Fi.
That's why I go on cruises, to get away from the Wi-Fi and the phone and everything, but I get it.
Well, thank you, Brandon, because you would work 24/7 if you didn't.
Yeah, he works till the wee hours of the night.
I can't help it. I love it.
And then this fall, Brandon, all the 2014s are going to be flipping over to 17.
Bring them on. So now through the end of the year, double commission on T-Sheets.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's a long
2 years.
6 months, over 6 months. So wow.
I gotta get my honey in gear. Like I didn't have enough to do, and I need to go start selling.
Who use T-Sheets often? Who do you usually refer T-Sheets to? Just anyone that has employees? Who?
My brother has a low voltage. He's got techs that are out all over the city, and his girl, Brandy, used to take an entire Thursday, keying in all these timesheets and the customer name. And
I bet
tell you
you
what,
did.
I was like a god after I linked those up, because now it's just so automated, and there's a new desktop interface apparently for the admin, and my brother can see where his employees are.
Which is nice.
They love it.
So-
Now, I work with mainly nonprofits, so it can get pretty pricey. But here's the thing: when the new Department of Labor rules come out
Right.
December 1st,
Right. I was going to ask you that.
all these people who are used to being salary because they're management or whatever are now required to keep timesheets. So
Yeah.
remote workers are going to be a problem, real problem.
Yeah.
They're used to just doing their job, and now they got to keep time. I mean, this is a huge upheaval. But something like Smart Sheets will protect the client because you'll get not only better records, but records that are definitely approved by the employee. You know, I mean, how many timesheets do we see and the employee didn't sign it, or you're lucky to get timesheets at all? You know.
Yeah.
So the last time there was a big upheaval with the Department of Labor laws, the lawsuits, employee lawsuits, went through the roof. And in this litigious environment, you know, you've got to, you know, cover your fanny. So I think something like T-Sheets is really, everybody's going to be upset about this flipping hourly or salary to hourly. And so I'm going to be ready with, now's the time to do it on Smart Sheets. Let's get it automated. Most people have smartphones or computers, and we can import it into your payroll and protect the company instead of somebody coming back 6 months later and go, "You never paid me for overtime." And if there's no timesheet, the employee wins.
Wow.
I mean, there could be no records, and it's your word against theirs, and they're going to win.
Yep.
Whether they ever work.
And it's audit proof. It's awesome.
Yeah. So
Cool.
but that's why I want to get back into it and really see how it does the class code and customer codes and the payroll codes. So
How many people use bill.com?
I hate bill.com, but I hate the interface. I love the concept, and I understand that I need to use it, and so I do use it. But I wish somebody would come up behind them, some competition, and show them how it should be done.
There is another company, I'm forgetting the name. I met them at the Xero conference. I will bring it next time. I don't have. Very similar to bill.com.
So they're like bill and pay.
Really? Similar to bill.com?
There's something called bill and pay, isn't
Bill
there?
and pay?
Bill and pay is only a merchant service kind of things. They don't do the
Don't
accounts
have all the approval.
or accounts receivable. Bill.com I really like for the approval process.
Oh, yeah.
If you need approvals, that's the program to use.
Mm-hmm. And see, in my world, in my nonprofit world, I need approvals and time date stamps all the way through December.
Yeah.
But if I put in a bill, let's see, what's today, Friday? I put in a bunch of bills on Wednesday. They got approved Thursday. My gal didn't come in till late afternoon. She pushes pay. It's another 24 hours. I mean, these things aren't even going to get processed. And then there's a holiday. And the whole turnaround time is really clunky and slow.
Well, they've improved that, though. I really have noticed a big improvement on it. It still does take, I think, in some cases, like up to 3 days. But I have noticed that
For
there
them to
are
even send a check, right?
Well, the e-payments I'm talking about. The check, you have to go through the mail, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, they don't even process. They don't even cut the check for a while.
For a day, yeah.
Please. So that's what I'm saying. If I put in bills one day and they approve the next day, and it's after 3, so my gals come back in the next day. Now I can't seem to get into a rhythm where bills aren't, but. It's still a great service. And what's going to be nice is I don't have boxes and boxes of files, so the auditors have a login, and all my payables are going to be right there. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Nice.
Mark, the bill.com, all the payables.
Very sorry I had to. There's some feedback coming out. Sorry. No.
Mark's opening up his. He must have, Amazon, the UPS guy must have come.
Ah,
It's nothing exciting.
Nothing exciting.
nothing exciting.
Books.
You know, I mean, if you consider
Books can be exciting.
Has he looked at you yet, Sarah?
Like my hair?
I love it.
There is still some feedback coming.
Did he say anything?
I had sent him a picture earlier. Sure.
I'm not sure who the.
It's long in the back. Look at this.
I love your hair like
I
that.
love it.
I do.
It's shorter. It's shorter. It's like it's like, you know, those shags. Remember those? I keep wanting to play with it.
Back to the future.
Back to the Future. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Linda.
Linda, you're muted.
You're
My
muted.
dogs are barking, so
Oh, okay. Well, we wanted
Well,
to
Penny
talk
hears
about.
it. She'll take off.
my question is, we all know that those people who are using QuickBooks Desktop 2013, that's going to be sunsetted on Tuesday, May 31st.
Right.
And I'm wondering at midnight, what are they not going to be able to do? Because I have at least 2 clients that probably will not get it done in time.
Payroll.
Payroll, emailing invoices,
Emailing invoices.
Anything that connects with their servers. Anything online.
Anything that you go out to the internet for and come back.
that they're paying QuickBooks for. So that would always be, would it be extra money every time they're paying in general, or no? Like the invoices thing being.
No, just all those features just turn off.
They will not work anymore.
Right.
You know, that's funny because Xero, I just saw an ad from Xero saying, did you see that, Sarah?
I saw it where they talked
What does it
about
say?
About the 2000 QuickBooks 2013 sunset. You know, you just come on over to Xero. Upgrading. I saw it this morning.
That's funny. Well, but you know, if you think about it, who was it? Oh, it was the BDO at Scaling New Heights. They were talking about how most of their clients are on QuickBooks, and so it's just a natural, you know, progression to go to QBO. And I'm thinking,
Not at all.
it's a completely different program.
Right.
So to me, it's an opportunity to see what's out there.
Yes.
If you're going to
I
go
have
to the
a
cloud,
Sage.
look at Sage, look at Xero, look at QBO. Maybe QBO is the best way to go, but now's your chance.
Right.
And people think, oh, I already know QuickBooks, so I'm going to stay with QuickBooks. It's not QuickBooks.
Mm-mm.
I have a
So
perspective on this. Being at Xero, I noticed that lot of people who have been using QuickBooks, they remain accountants, bookkeepers, they will remain on QuickBooks. But all the direct customers, there was a huge uptick of direct customers coming into Xero who were using QuickBooks. Number one, because they were complaining about the user interface and complexity. And then also, while working at Xero, I helped enable enterprise data coming into Xero. So many of the QuickBook enterprise people who were paying $2,000, $3,000, now they can pay $90 a month and then be happy with it. And that was, there's a lot of alternatives now. And now Xero alternatives, when I go Google sometime, I get Xero's alternative, Sage now.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So is anybody here using Sage?
I just signed up for the 25 licenses for $25.
Huh.
That is only good through May 31st. So if you want to do it now. For $25, I mean.
For how long? A year?
A year.
Which stage did you sign up for? There's so many choices. Is it?
I know. I can't keep them straight.
I know. And I say that to them all the time.
That's why I asked you, Gina, which one to sign up for.
Stage 1 is the online version that's comparable to QBO.
Okay.
What you do not get with Sage 1, though, is inventory.
Right. You don't really get that with QBO unless you do an app add-on. Do you get that with Xero?
Xero has a very light inventory, but
In general, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yep. Add on.
Right.
$25 for the first year?
for the first year. You
And then
get 25 licenses.
Yeah.
And you use as many as you need. If you don't use them all, then you just lose what other ones you don't use.
And then how much is it next year?
$5 a client.
Oh, okay.
$5 a month
you're
per client.
keeping all of your clients' books through your license. They're not doing anything at their shop.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, that's a question.
So for
Yes.
$25,
You're buying the licenses for your client at that point. If the client were to buy it, it would be $10 a month.
oh, yeah.
So it's a
But
very,
can they do work? Can the software be loaded on their machine, or is it all out in the cloud?
it's cloud. It's cloud-based. So they have their own logon, just like QBO and the QBO Accountant Edition.
And this is stage 1.
This is Sage 1.
Got it.
Now, the other thing that I'm using with Sage is something called Sage Impact, which is a dashboard.
yes.
That
And it works with QuickBooks and works
Yes,
with.
it does.
And what,
Anything that you want to put in there. And when Tar comes on to demo, he's going to be demoing the Sage View, which is like, what can I compare that to? I guess QVinci. It's like
it's a
Reporting,
analytics.
right.
analytics and intelligence, business intelligence.
You know, CPA Academy's got some upcoming Sage webinars for free. If you
Yeah,
have,
for $25, I wouldn't mind just paying for it.
Well, that's what I did. That's what I did. And I already have one of my companies on it, and I've invited somebody. I've just set up the credit cards for the automatic downloads, but I'm having an issue with the banking, getting it set up.
Oh, really?
It could be the bank that I'm using, because that particular bank doesn't really work well with QBO either.
Well, if it doesn't work with
Yeah, when you signed up for the Sage, does it come with the Sage Impact like you were saying, or is that extra?
The impact is free.
free.
Free for anyone, anytime. You can sign up for that now.
Okay.
And you will have a link to Sage 1 in there. If you don't buy the licenses and you click on it, it'll automatically do a trial for you for like 30 days. And then
So after the years, what's the pricing?
$5 wholesale, $10 for the client.
Wow, that's nothing.
right. Well, then it becomes a monthly fee, though. It's not
Bill,
a year.
$10
Right.
a month? That's nothing compared to what all the other ones are
Now,
offering.
with QBO, the client can pay the retail price and your commission's the difference.
Right. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the partner program is with Sage, because it is so cheap. You probably won't get any kind of commission off of it, because remember, you're talking $5 a month.
Yeah, sort of like QBox.
Right.
Great. I sell QBox to everybody I can talk to,
I
but
love QBox. I love it.
well, okay. When we learn a new, back in the old days, I did Real World, Maz 90, Peachtree, DOS, QuickBooks. I mean, we were everywhere, and what I learned was I couldn't really become an
expert.
Expert. Especially.
in any one, because I was
Right.
so fragmented. I was pulled in so many
Right.
directions. So I got in bed with Intuit, and that became my baby. And back then Peachtree was horrible. So fast
I
forward.
remember Peachtree days.
Remember the Peachtree DOS days? Now
That was the same as Creative Solutions. Did anybody use that?
I use Creative Solutions. $3,000 a year. Oh my
Yeah.
Oh boy, did I lose squirrel. Yeah.
But
Okay, so
actually,
now it's 2016, right? We have all the software. Okay, we know theory, we know a general ledger, we know AP, we know how things flow together.
right.
A program, when I look at anything new, is how intuitive is it? How,
Well, so far I'm doing really well with Sage.
yeah.
I've only had it for 2 days now.
Okay.
And I haven't really had a lot of time to play with it.
So far, so
Right.
good.
So far, so good.
How about payroll? See, me, I know.
Sage
I know
One
here's
is
payroll like the back of my hand. I mean,
yeah, you have to have an outside payroll service.
oh, they don't. It's like QBO. They don't have a.
Right. Which is fine for me because I generally recommend an outside service anyway.
Yeah, me too.
See, I'm so heavy into job costing. I need something with that.
Right. And the job costing might eliminate Sage One from you altogether.
That's what I'm saying. The QBO Sage one is probably too simple, but then what's the next
Sage
level?
One has a different theory of doing things. They have tags. They use tags, and you can set up tags any way that you want.
So it's like just a big database.
Well, it sounds like it is, but that would be
Most of them are databases anyway.
yeah. You could do a lot with tags. So I really need to dig into that.
Yeah,
Or
find out how many
tags.
levels, how many types of tags.
Right. Well, you'd have to
Or
ask Tara that.
Are tags like classes?
Or splits.
Probably.
Kind of not like either. A tag's a tag. Like when you're in
Can you get a P&L with tags in a column?
by tags. I'm not sure. I can't answer that question. I don't know. I haven't tried.
2 days? Come on, you're not an expert.
To me, the tags were like if you use Evernote and you tag a document.
Okay, something that you could find it with. You
Or what
know.
were we looking at this morning? Nimble. Nimble has tags.
Right. So you would be using tags instead of classes or locations or whatever.
Can you be forced to tag something? Can you set up a?
Oh yeah, require a tag.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't gotten that detailed, Dennis.
Remember when Seth we would like open a program fresh, he would like not look at it before the hangout.
Oh yeah, and then
And we'd open it together and we'd bumble around.
right.
That's how we found QBox. Or I found QBox and told Seth, and then he decided to set up a QBox on live. And we all bumbled around and couldn't figure it out.
QuickBooks is such a simple program.
They watched. No, here's what happened. They watched that program, saw how it made sense to them, but it wasn't making sense to us as users coming in cold. And they
Plus
changed it.
fairly, well-versed audience too. I mean, it's like we're not.
It's like we're not a bunch of dummies. We're all like, click here.
Well,
Rolls,
QuickBooks
fills,
does solve the problem of Intuit taking away the accountant send tool. You can't.
Don't get me started about them taking features out of non-sunsetted products.
I'm not sure that they're going to continue to take those.
They took it away. They took features away from 14. IPN should have been left on another year. Another year.
Wow,
Is that like Go Payments?
for sure.
Now, IPN is IPN, the Intuit Payment Network.
It doesn't work with 14. Works with 15 and 16.
Oh, what
The new one.
a brilliant planning.
Yeah. So what you say? So what you do is it says, sorry, it's going away. We're replacing it with this, and we suggest that you upgrade. No, you have to upgrade.
Yeah, of course.
So what is the suggestion be?
Right. Well, I really, really do not like their suggestions for the accountant transfer. They're suggesting Google Drive or Dropbox,
Oh yeah.
which will
What is that? I can't believe that they would do that. I mean, come on.
I know.
What is that?
QBox is the solution. Why don't they want to say that?
What do you mean?
Because they want you off desktop. Off.
You mean the accountant
That's
transfer?
right. That's what they're
That's
trying
for
to
the
do.
accountant's transfer.
Yeah, just wait a few more years. We'll be going to.
They're forcing us off desktop.
It'll be a cram down in a couple of years.
Yeah, because first of all, the direct deposit fees are outrageous. It's like I have to job cost. I have to stay on desktop, and how do I justify when I paid 2 people? It's $6.50. 2 people. So I just and then they've already made it so that, oh, now we're ranting. We shouldn't be ranting. And enterprise, they were able to configure the desktop enterprise to subscription model.
Yeah.
There's nothing forcing that. There's nothing preventing them from doing
Well,
that.
that's next for, yeah, that's next.
It's already there.
It
Right.
is. You can get it now. You can get it now.
Yeah,
That'll be next-
enterprise.
next-
Yeah.
that'll
But
probably
see,
be
but
next
like enterprise, you can't just buy and not have a subscription.
Right, right. And you can
That's
still
right.
do that with desktop.
So if they really want to, they can say, "Sorry, you can't buy. You can just
Right.
lease Premiere and Pro from us on a monthly."
Yeah.
Well, it must kind of fry them that they can't, that people are using for 3 years now. You know, at least now it's been sunset after 3 years. So I would think that the subscription would probably be, it wouldn't be supposed to happen next year.
You expect it next year?
If, well,
To
at
get
least
rid of the desktop?
to make the,
This is good to
no, make it
subscription.
subscription based.
Make it subscription based. I'm just,
Oh,
yeah, I would not be surprised at all. It's just a wild guess, but if 17 comes out, that it's subscription.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll see clients then with QuickBooks 2013 all the way through who knows when.
I still have a client on 13. I'm like, really? How much money we
I
talking?
never loaded 13 on any of my computers. I didn't.
I got logged me in. I said, I'm sorry. I got new machines. I said, I'm not installing.
I'm not doing 13. Forget it.
2009?
What was your lawyer client, Linda? Was that 2007? They had a super
Yeah,
old
he had. No, I think he had 2008.
2008.
This is a guy who makes $11 million a year.
But that's why he's rich, is because he's
yeah, he wants to buy the latest version of QuickBooks.
But he doesn't want. He wants his wife to keep handwriting out the kind of reports that QuickBooks could print out.
Well, he has to. at this
handwriting
point.
checks or handwriting reports?
Yeah, reports on all the money spent per client. It just.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. That's the one with the S. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, and it's, I mean, and it's funny because a local paper, the Daily Bulletin, has something called the best of. So the best of Italian restaurants, the best of this,
Right.
the best personal injury attorney. This guy, he can't.
Say-
afford to
Well,
use
that's good. Just don't have him do your accounting.
Did you say he has an escort?
versions of- He didn't have, and it's like, oh, I don't need that. No, okay. Good
So-
luck.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Did you say he has an escort? That your client, Linda?
I don't
No,
know
he'd have a
what kind of corporation he has.
Oh, okay.
He'd have a
And I don't even know if he has one.
Okay.
Because I was just trying to figure out, did he have the data inside of QuickBooks that I could pull in a report? And he had set it up all wrong. The person who set him up set it up all wrong.
But fortunately, he had his wife handwrite stuff, so.
Yeah, but because the wife had handwritten a whole bunch of things, basically it was like a trust account that was
Right.
handwritten. All the
Oh, I
money
remember
coming
this.
in and all the money being spent out, the expenses, and it was just a little ledger, a little paper ledger that was handwritten. Thank God.
Hey, worked for 1,000,000 years. You know, nothing wrong with that.
That's right. And when I told him that I thought, after having worked with his wife for 4 hours and looking through all of the data she had and everything they had in QuickBooks, I said, I think the thing that comes closest to what the State Bar Association wants is this piece of paper right here. You have hired an attorney that specializes in working with the State Bar. I suggest that you take this piece of paper and you show it to him and you ask him. He says, well, I don't want somebody making suggestions. I want somebody who knows. And when he asked the attorney, I was right. It worked. And he got them all together and he shipped them off to the State Bar and it was done the next day.
And then he did not take your recommendation to upgrade QuickBooks either,
Nope,
or to do bank reconciliations inside of QuickBooks.
that's right. And that's the problem. I had reconciled it with the one fell swoop through, I think, the end of February of this year. but I wanted to show the wife how to do March, because I wanted her to be able to do March and then do April and then do May.
You know what? I'm probably shouldn't say this on there. Had a client. He was an attorney. Client, 28 years, retiring, right? And I was working on his wife, working with the wife on the 1099s, and I don't even know why I asked it, but she said something about she questioned the amount on somebody, and she goes, "Oh, I wrote that out of the checkbook."
What?
Where the checkbook? She said the escrow, and I'm like, "Okay, so you were paying client bills out of the escrow account?" Mm-hmm.
Is that like in trust fund?
The trust. She goes, "That's not our money. That has to be kept." I said, "Well, I understand that, but I've never done 1099s on that bank. That's not my money."
Oh, so in her mind,
This is like 40 years.
because it's her client's money.
Yeah.
But her clients don't know. They can't 1099.
No, the person who's responsible for distributing the money is responsible for the 1099.
Right.
And I'm like, you've been in business 40 something. I'm like, I'm glad we're retiring this year. And there's probably about 3 years. It's like, I don't want to know. That was like, I had a client who would always send my bill back to me in the same envelope with the check. I always thought that was weird. A lot of people do that. It's like, well,
Screw.
so finally one day I said, just curious, you do make a copy of that, right? She goes, oh, no. I said, you need to keep business receipts. And she said, oh, I've got my canceled check. I said, how long have you been doing that? Well, no, 25 years. I said, so when you do after the fact accounting or, compiling for a tax return or compilations or whatever, you don't realize, you think somebody's been in business for a really long time, that they know basic record keeping.
Cannot assume that.
And sometimes you just, you work with so many clients, you really lose track of who have you taught what.
Right.
And it was just, we're going to start making copies.
I'm sure the IRS would love that.
I had another client I called, and I just said, because I was taking all the property tax returns away from the CPA firms, because they do a crappy job of it. So most of the CPA firms take the depreciation program and produce property tax returns. That doesn't fly when you get audited by the property tax assessor. They walk in the door and say, let me see that desk, let me see that chair. And if it was, probably written off 30 years ago. So anyway, so I started taking, being real aggressive with property tax, and now I do all the property tax. So I called a client and I said, you happy? I asked her about her property tax. My what? I said, your property tax return.
Oh my God.
See, in this county, when you get a business license, you automatically get on the computer system for the whole county and the property tax. But they'd been in business for so long, they had never filed a property.
So they were
Never been on the
grandfathered in and not
system, so-
entered into the system.
Right. I expect that to
He asked
happen.
me to do it, and I created one, and I put all the right years going all the way back, and it was a fresh return, and we just waited, and some little clerk down at the county keyed it in, nothing happened, and that was 4 years ago, so.
Okay.
Behind on the audits.
You're aggressive
I
out here.
expect all that compliance stuff to get better as technology gets better.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to continue to be able to happen. These guys got in under the wire, we'll say.
Well, you know what scared them was somebody on either the city council or the county got dinged in the media because it's open records or something, and they went to see if these politicians who were paying their taxes and found out have one on file either.
Mm.
And then my client came to, yeah, that's what it was the same client because we ignored it for a couple of years. I'm like, hey, as long as they sign a thing, I do not need you to do my property tax return. I'm, and after a couple of years, I said, hey, I think you're right. I think you need
We got a little nervous there.
But these are, new clients. I'm real aggressive on asking all the questions up front.
You want to get them in compliance as soon as possible and used to living in compliance.
That's right. And I have a couple, all the clients that I've had since the 80s and stuff, they're sold or, a couple have died. And so I've got just a handful left where maybe the kids will inherit it. And so they're working on succession plans and stuff like that. And, the young ones won't get away with what their parents are.
Absolutely, which is why I do not recommend self-employed at all.
Yeah.
Well, QuickBooks Self-Employed.
Yeah, no commingling of bank accounts, please, ever. Period.
Take all the fun away from it.
Someone else to do your work.
Boy, you talk about attorneys. They do that all the time.
I know, but they're attorneys and I'm not, so. Again, I am not wavering on my
What's this part
policy.
here? Oh, this is to clean my boat. Oh, and what's this? Oh, this is for parking my boat in the marina. And I see, and what is this for? Oh, this is like advertising sponsorship.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
I was so glad when the club
I said, well, I don't, if you get audited.
yeah, but see, I don't want to be involved when they get audited.
Right, well,
I've been doing this so long. I'm like, you know what? If it's serious enough,
yeah.
Because
Exactly.
they go
It's not
down, you go.
your business is what would end up happening.
Well, even though you're not liable, but maybe financially, your name can get in the paper with them.
Well, guess you take
And the other thing is time and stress. And I got subpoenaed with a client years ago, dragged through the court and all this, and I had no idea she was doing half this.
Well, they'd blame you saying you never told them to do differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she was that same client that went from being my friend forever to this is late law. And we were in an audit. And the IRS agent said, "Let me see your 1099."
Speaking of audits, I just read that the IRS, when you're being audited, they no longer call you on the phone because of all the spammers and scammers.
Oh, yeah?
So now they are forced to send you a letter before they call you.
Well, they're supposed to anyway.
Well, good.
No,
I'm
they
glad
They're not supposed to email you.
well, some auditors had an informal policy of they would call the taxpayer first and then they would send the letter.
Oh,
Now they have to send the letter first.
Good. That's the way it should be.
The scammers, in the last 2 months, I got 3 scammers calling me that I owe IRS money and you're going to be arrested. And those guys.
yeah, you're gonna be arrested.
Yeah.
I would be so tempted to
Play
put
with
them on.
them?
Pardon?
Do you play with them?
Yeah, I play with them and I start talking them in Indian accent and swearing at them in Indian, and then they hang up.
Good. As long as they're talking to you, they're not scamming anyone else.
I would be so tempted to put them on hold and transfer them to the IRS hotline, Let them wait for an hour to talk to somebody.
There you go. Does anybody, we are about out of time. Is there any other subjects anyone would talk about before we go?
I just wanted to squeeze in a quick question. You know how a lot of, especially with contractors now and T-sheets, they want all their folks to have the smartphones, especially for use with T-sheets and some of the other programs.
Yeah. Was that you asking?
So a lot of the employees say, "Sure, boss, pay my data charges, pay my phone bill." I wonder how
How to
that.
get around that?
how
Well,
that
it has
works
to be
out.
substantiated, so they have to bring a copy of their phone bill.
Well,
I
they
would
have to-
just say, look, we'll give you $25 a month for
No, but then it becomes taxable. If they substantiate, it's not taxable.
If it's reimbursement, it's
Right. If it's substantiated with
They would
their,
need
with
an
their own
account,
personal
accountable,
receipt.
with
got
a
it.
accountable plan. It
And they
spells
have
it
an,
out.
yeah, accountable plan. Then it's
Yeah.
tax-free.
They really
If you
don't
just
wanna
give an
do-
allowance, it goes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really don't want to deal with all of that nonsense back and forth with the.
Well, then they should then Gina's right. Then just everybody gets a $25 a month raise or something. You know.
to cover your technology, because you know everybody has a phone these days anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
The danger is though.
actually everybody doesn't. I'm amazed at how many people still have flip phones.
Okay.
But
Okay.
here's the thing: if you
Even
have
some younger people, I go like, why don't you use your smartphone? Oh, by the way, AT&T now has video calls.
Oh, okay.
Well, that just was yesterday with yesterday's upgrade, man.
I have to check that out. A new way to do a video. We've got Facebook. We've got
See the picture of the little video next to the
yeah.
phone?
oh, I like your numbers
Phone
too.
people, or you can video them.
Is that an Android? Is that an Android or is that
Yeah,
not?
Samsung. Samsung,
Okay.
it's the S6. It's not the S7.
Okay.
I can't believe
Larry,
the
Google bring your own device, or what is it?
Well,
BYOD.
BYOD or something. There's all kinds of security and issues and how to deal with bring your own device, because people want to bring their own personal equipment and use it for work. A smart phone is an example of that. But once you have them checking their business email on their personal phone, if they're not
they need to be
overtime
secure.
and it's after 5 and they answer a quick email, they're on the clock.
yeah.
That's
the
all
rules.
kinds of liability. So maybe you need a phone plan that prevents them from answering emails after a certain time. I mean, there's so many things to take into consideration, but as far as expensing it, I expense all that. I mean, the IRS is just looking the other way with all this cell phone stuff. It's not that much money. We're even expensing, things that we used to capitalize are just supplies now because
Computers even.
Yeah, with Section 179, what's the difference between expensing and capitalizing in Section 179? It's like,
you got to
Have to go
track.
through the whole rigmarole of
Still have
the,
to track it if you 179 it. I'd rather just
right.
write it off. But well, y'all,
It's time.
Alrighty, everyone. Well, y'all have a great Memorial weekend, everyone. See you same time, same place next week.
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.
Thanks all.
Happy Memorial Day, everyone.
You too.
Bye.